Hello, everyone. So I am going to try and walk you through my process of creating a style. I'll try to give some helpful tips and tricks along the way of how to create your own style or where to even start. So, first step, where do I start? Well, if I don't really have an idea in my mind that I can start on, I will look up text effects for After Effects on YouTube and kind of start there. So we could start here, we could start there. Um, we could do something like this. Absolutely cool. Something like that. If you kind of know what you want to do, like just something basic like a melting text effect, something will pop up on YouTube. Pretty much anything you could think of will pop up on YouTube if you look up a tutorial for it, but I think I will go ahead and start my style with this text effect. I think I remember how to do it somewhat. I'll just do my cheap version of it. So,
Hours ago, out of our minds. I guess we're sleeping outside. You're still a good time, even in the cold. Get out the road, I told you. A car's coming, I stop you. You know I always got you. You know I always got you. Push you to the side, even if it means that I die. I wouldn't hesitate about it, wouldn't even think about it. Sign, I really love you. Push it to the side, even if it means that I die. Wouldn't hesitate about it, wouldn't even think about it. Sign, I really love you. Wheels in your hands,
okay.
I
So this
guess
gives us a
you
good
didn't
starting point.
think.
If you're worried about adding detail or like what to add for detail, don't worry too much. Kind of pull from what you know, what you've done for collabs. I mean, I know I shouldn't be saying that because that's other people's ideas, but honestly, we all kind of, you know, take from each other, take inspiration from each other, and remake it into our own thing. Which, as long as you make it into your own thing, let me be very clear, make it into your own thing and give credit where credit is due. You're fine. You shouldn't get into trouble or anything. If you ever feel iffy about if you should credit someone, credit them. It doesn't hurt anyone. Um, but besides that, I I would sometimes look up album cover art on Google and just see different design elements that I could add. That could be cool for a style. That could be really cool if I could ever figure out how to do this face effect. That would be a great style. Something like this, I think I've seen in the community before. Um, just putting different elements of these things together. It could also give you some ideas for text. Um, you could also look up poster design, and that can give you some cool little. This would be a cool style. Stuff like that can really start to ignite your creative process. It's just finding stuff that can go with this right now is what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead. Right now in my head, I have this cool like candy style in mind. It doesn't really make sense, and I'll probably hate it, but that's the process. Don't be afraid to try stuff out and fail. I have to remind myself that all the time, and my friends can definitely tell you that. Okay. So I want really bright colors. Also, if you're not good with colors like me, I'm not good with colors at all, you could get a color palette from Google as well. Just look up, you could look up Candy color palette. But I want to make it harder on myself, so I'm not going to even worry about that. And another tip I could give you guys, um, there's a lot of trends going on right now. This is definitely one of them in the community. So maybe look to that and build off of that. Maybe you'll add some glow. Just add some random shit to it just to make it, just make these things more exciting. Maybe we'll have this bounce up a bit. Let's add some excite because I don't want to do it manually. If you don't have motion 3 or motion 2, I'm sorry. And I also, just a tip, a bounce like that always makes things look a little more, I don't know, cool. Maybe we'll do a glow, get some tints. Nope, don't love that. Maybe the glow radius gets bigger. Smaller again. Cool. So text part is done. Um, when using text and creating a style, I always like to add more text. Don't you know that? I guess this is a Britney Spears style. Cool. I always like to put some on the top or around it. Just make it fit somewhere. It could look cute in the crevice here. But we'll just put it at the top because we can, or I can. It's my style, not yours. Tracking always helps. So yeah, that's good enough for text right now. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is mask her out. That's a good thing too to start out. Um, Masking someone out and then just building around them. I'm sure you've seen me do this a lot, but I'll put the mask or the subject or whatever on the lower thirds. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second after I mask her out. Okay, so as for lower thirds, I'm going to put the anchor point at the bottom. Okay, so what I mean by lower thirds is when I put the character or whatever on the bottom here. I'm sure you've seen me do that a bunch of times. Um, it's just a safe space for them, and it always ends up looking really nice. Just the center and text above, it just always ends up looking nice. So maybe start there. I'm going to add some color to her that kind of matches these colors here. Probably should stay in my lane and not do that. Let's see, pink, make it darker, maybe orange. I don't know. I am not great with color. I hope you guys noticed how I said this was going to be like a candy theme. I totally threw that out the window and kind of just improvised. That's another good thing with styles or creating styles. You need to improvise. Let's see. I think we'll go with this. See, I can play with the colors forever because I don't really know what looks great with it. So I'll just go with that. Now we're going to come to the next spot of this tutorial, which is what do I do for the fucking background? So there's a lot of different things you can do. Hold on, I will be right back. Let me just grab a few textures. Okay, so you could always use a texture. That kind of looks cool and it's trendy, you know. Everyone's using these photocopied textures. I'm still messing with the colors because I don't like it. I don't like it. Black and white might do. I'm really reinventing the wheel here. You can multiply that on the pink background. Although it looks very dark. So, next part of this, shapes. Shapes are fun. So, I mean, again, it's a process. It's very easy to get on yourself and feel like, oh, I'm not creative enough, or why can't I come up with cool ideas like everyone else? They all go through this process. I'm telling you, every single one. They go through this process of just not really knowing exactly what they want to do, and the style constantly evolves. So just play around. Not just know that everything will work out in the end, but not everything is going to pull together in one sitting, which is something I have to remind myself. Sometimes you just gotta go on autopilot and just make different shit up, just kind of like what I'm doing now. While I was talking, I completely blacked out. Like, and I kind of like this. Kind of just let myself take over and made something I don't hate. We'll say that. So yeah, again, just a quick overview. Look up tutorials on effects. Let that be your starting point. Build upon it. Masks are fun. They kind of make things a little more easy to design around. And Google is your best friend. Look up poster designs. Uh, look up trendy designs. Like this would be cool to add. This would be a cool style to do. You could get a lot of different ideas just from Google that could help turn into your own thing. Now, if I had more time, I'd probably develop this further, but I think this is a good starting point for you guys. This I definitely think I could make an updated tutorial on this in the future as I learn more and develop my skills. But this is a great starting point, and if you guys have any requests, just let me know, and I will see you guys next week.